Welcome to my latest experiment. This is the big one, the one I've been waiting for all my life.
What is it?
Try to imagine all life as you know it stopping instantaneously and every molecule in your body exploding at the speed of light.
Oh my God.
The cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
And I am the voice of the voiceless.
And there is no one that does it better.
The Guy and Harley podcast, streaming all over your face.
Perhaps that was the most important part.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
Pigville on the internet. What's the problem, baby? Tell me. What's the issue? I'd fight 1,000 wars just so I can get back with you. I need a tissue to wipe away the tears. Why would you turn back now after all these fucking years? Welcome along to the Guy and Harley podcast. I'm Harley Neville.
I'm Guy Pigden. Now these lyrics this week.
Yeah, that was a band called Balancing the Different. The song is called Stop It.
And any resonance with your own personal sitcho?
Well, so listeners that have been listening to the last few episodes will know since episode 101, and if you've been listening longer than that, you'll know that I had a girlfriend for 5 years.
5 years, man.
Yep.
It's a long-ass time.
Slightly more than 5 years. And
half a decade.
Yeah, and
let that sink in.
I was very in love, and in fact, I am still very in love.
Holding on.
But in May, on May 10th, memorize the date, she...
Save the date.
broke up with me. And in episode 101, I announced this and performed a sweet poem. So go back and listen to that.
It's a good poem. You know what? I'm not a big fan of poems. Of any kind. But, the ones that I've enjoyed of yours, Roman Empire, Satan's Return.
Saturn's Return.
And, of course, this one. What's it called again?
I said see you later. She said goodbye.
Is that what it's called?
That's what I'm calling it.
I don't know about that.
It's that or Angie.
Maybe you just call it Angie.
No, that got a big laugh when I did it at the slam poetry competition.
Oh, right.
So it works. It works. Go back, listen to that poem. It was
emotional.
It has slightly evolved since then. But
Harley's voice
just of it
quavered as he delivered it.
Yeah.
As he choked back a couple.
Yeah. So yes. Anyway, she dumped me on May 10th, and
we're now in July.
Yeah. 2 months later. Now, listeners will know that I had a plan. It's called Operation Intercept.
Yeah.
And the plan...
Which sounds a little rapey.
Which Guy maintains sounds a little rapey. Let's change it to Operation Flying Sparrow.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Because the sparrow is flying.
Yeah.
Because now she was passing through Auckland. She's going to be... We did a long distance thing. She's over in LA. I was going to be moving to LA. I put all my thought and energy into it, and then it all went south on May 10th. And so
Operation Intercept sounds like a kidnapping.
Right, yeah. It does. Operation Flying Sparrow.
Yeah.
And so, but she's coming back to New Zealand anyway, and she's going to be here, just not in the same city as me. She's going to be on the other side of the country, as far away from me as possible.
As humanly possible.
Literally, you can't really go that much further south. You could go further south, but there's nothing fucking down there.
There's nothing down there.
So she's really gone as far as you can go. And she is...
Putting up some barriers, putting up some walls.
She's passing through Auckland, very, very soon. And I knew this time was coming up at some point that she's going to be passing through Auckland. And my plan is obviously to meet with her and essentially talk some sense into her. No, that's not really right. That's honestly not my plan. Woo her.
Yeah.
No, well, I mostly just want to, I don't know, see what happens.
Talk some bloody sense into the woman.
But, I sort of just want to hold her and as I said, watch her resolve dissolve.
Also, I think we've actually got a clip of your prepared speech for that. So we're going to play that now.
You know what? If you, okay, you don't even deserve this poem. Standing there texting emoticons on your stupid smartphone. How about some real life emoticons for me? Your boyfriend.
You're not my boyfriend.
Yeah, that's right. I'm not, because I'm dumping you. How do you like that? How do you like them apples?
You can't dump somebody who's already dumped you. Sorry. You done?
I am done. Okay? And take a good long look, alright? Because this is the last time you'll be seeing my face. You fucking blew it. You blew your chance to get back together with me, and now I'm not even interested, okay? Because I'm too good for you. So I hope you think about that when you're all alone crying to yourself. You could have got back together with this great guy, this great guy who adored you and would have treated you like a princess, but you blew it. And now I'm gone forever. So suck on that. See ya. Wouldn't want to be ya.
So she has contacted me and told me...
Made contact.
Yep. She's told me that when she's passing through, and that time she is passing through is 2 days from now. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to be seeing her 2 days from now.
I thought you were going to continue and be like, and under no terms are you to see her. So I thought that's what her continued story was going to be.
No. Luckily, no. She has agreed to see me, and so
work out the divorce papers.
So that's I guess I'll let you all know how it goes. But yeah, Operation Flying Sparrow is in pre-production right now. I tell you what, I've just moved rooms as well. I've just moved rooms today. One of our flatmates left, and she had probably the best room in the house, and I swooped in and upgraded from the shittest room in the house to the best room in the house, and baby, it feels good.
So this is one of those crazy things about you, Harley.
I'm a weasel.
Yeah, well, just everything comes up nevs. When it, it's like I get kicked out on my ass because my girlfriend broke up with me, and I'm rushing. I gotta find a flat. I find a flat, a godsend. I get this nice place, and then fucking nevs.
Strolls in.
Someone's moving out, eh? I might just have that room, thanks. And then a bit later on, someone's moving out of the best room, eh? Well, it's a coincidence. I only just got here. I might just have that, thanks.
I'll just jump the queue. Yep. Well, I did it.
Classic nevs.
But yeah, so I mean, Operation Get the Fuck Out of My Shitty Old Moldy Room is well and truly underway as well, in preparation for Operation Flying Sparrow.
Yeah.
You see?
You're going to impress her with
my cool new room.
Well, I was going to say, what's that?
There's an electro ball thing with a static electricity. I don't know, they're not really what they're called, but with the static electricity, and you can touch it, and it has lightning and it's glass. You know the thing. Yeah, there's one of those there. I don't know why guys talking about it.
Well, Harley, the science pro, knows all the details about science. Yeah.
Yeah, so look, anyway, she's seeing me, so I'm nervous, I'm excited, and I'm looking forward to it.
Nervous, excited, aroused.
Be respectful, please. You're talking about the love of my life. Okay?
Okay.
Also, I have reason to believe that Operation Flying Sparrow has been compromised. I believe that Angie might be a hardy listener.
Yeah.
I believe she might tune in occasionally to keep tabs.
Might have turned into a Flying Sparrow fart.
Yeah.
Sparrow's fart.
Yes.
Well, what else was going on? We do apologise to listeners. We did not quite get to this last week due to just being fucking busy. It's really the problem.
Yeah, well, look, I better give this is a perfect time to give a quick shout out to Shani and Dogwise, because that is our principal sponsor here at the Guy and Harley podcast. Shani from Dogwise. She sounds familiar. I feel like I've met her before.
You may have bumped into her.
And she has paid for the year's worth of what's it bloody the registration to have this bloody podcast? It costs
Libsyn.
Libsyn, and it costs like $20 a month or something just to bring this podcast to you. And now our expenses are covered for a year, and that's all thanks to Dogwise.
Thanks to Dogwise.
So they're on Facebook. So if you want to go find them and hit like, that would really help us, because you got to keep the sponsors happy. Dogwise.
Just look up Dogwise. We'll put a link to a page in the comments. But like that page, even if you don't have a dog, the bloody page.
Just like it. It's good for traffic. It's good for the reach.
But also, if you do have a
dog,
dog
a good reach around
that needs training, she is the lady to take care of any difficult dogs, big dogs, small dogs. Those disgusting those little ones, toy dogs. She'll take care of all of them because she's good like that. So she will take care of all your needs. Very affordable. I highly recommend her. So if your dog needs a little bit of training, a little bit of schooling, Dogwise.
And if you would like to sponsor the podcast, just get in touch, guys. Get in touch.
And your name,
we will shout you out. We'll shout the shit out of you.
Your brand could be documented right here on the Guy and Harley podcast to the hundreds and hundreds of listeners.
Yes. Contact us, guyandharleypodcast@gmail.com.
The last couple of episodes.
New Gmail I set up.
Are definitely getting up there to close to the 200 mark.
Yeah. Well, look, I'll tell you something. I did the maths. I calculated, this is big news really, I worked out the average downloads per episode spread out over the last 20 episodes. Do you know how many it was per episode?
No.
153.
Yeah, boy.
Oh, yeah. Sifty 150, yo.
Sifty
I think this is a
150.
graduation. We graduated.
Yep.
Or we're graduating.
I like it.
The Sifty 150. I don't know how the Filthy 50 and the Hardy Hundy will be spewing. They're getting less and less elite.
Or the Nifty.
Nah, Sifty. It's got to be Sifty. Sifty 150. Nifty is such a retro word.
That's pretty nifty.
Anyway, so I went to the money machine the other day.
Yep.
Right? And I've got my cards in a money clip. So it's like just a money clip with my cards inside. It's my driver's license, my credit card, and my FPOS card. And that's usually what I carry around. Just a money clip with cards in it. And I went to the ATM and I put my FPOS card in the machine. And then somehow I dropped my credit card and money clip and driver's license. And they fell out of my hand, right? And it was there was a slot there to put receipts in.
Yeah.
To throw your receipts in. Now, this receipt slot is probably like 8 centimeters long and like 1 centimeter wide kind of thing. And my cards are like 7 centimeters long and like half a centimeter wide. So, and it was my left hand. And it was one of those situations where if you pointed a gun to my head and said, Harley, drop this card in there perfectly with your left hand, or I'm going to blow your fucking brains out.
You'd be dead.
I'd be a dead man. Yeah. Absolutely, it was absolute fluke. So I'm there. I drop it, boom, it goes in, and I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake! Like, how the fuck do you get your cards out of there?
Because it wasn't by a bank, presumably.
It wasn't by a bank. It was by a chemist. So I went into the chemist, and I was like, well, hey, who are the maintenance people? Can you give me the number of like the maintenance guy for the ATM? Because there must be somebody who comes around and empties that out, because it was quite empty. And so I was like, they gave me some number, and I called it, and it was like, this number is no longer in use. If you're calling from Australia,
bloody brilliant.
And I was like, for fuck. And I had a flatmate, a potential flatmate, coming half an hour later.
Yeah.
So I was just nipping down to the ATM kind of thing. It was like I wasn't meant to be out for very long, and then so it was in there. I was like, what am I going to do? Called the number. I called the bank. I kept on calling the bank. Didn't even get to talk to a person. I just kept on getting passed around. Press 1 for this. Press 2 for that. And it would say to talk to one of our team, press 6, and then you'd go to that, and it would take you to another menu of like 8 different things, and none of them would talk to the team. And so anyway, what I did was I reached down and I realized that one of the locks had not quite been locked enough. It had not been locked, just on one side. So it has a lock on each side. And so it meant that I could get my fingers up underneath one side of it. And I kind of pulled on it just gently. And I heard a cracking sound. And so I pulled on it a little gently, a little more, and it cracked a little bit more. And then I just ripped it open with my bare hands and then grabbed my cards and then closed it up and ran away. But it may or may not. The police might be after me.
Now, that's interesting. There was some vandalism there.
Yeah, well, look, I'd just like to point out that this is a completely made-up story, and this is not...
Allegedly. This is just a story. But, yeah, well, obviously...
You'll note that I didn't mention which bank it was.
I was going to ask that next. The camera would have seen you.
Yes.
No doubt about that.
Camera would have seen me. So I guess the thing is, there was heaps of people around. It wasn't like a quiet back street or anything. It was a busy road. So there's heaps of people around. So and the camera would have caught me. And if you wanted to figure out who it was, it'd be very fucking easy because I was the guy doing the transaction at that time. So
good point.
So
very good point because I was like, well, they can't really identify him.
And it's like, no, well, there he is. He's entering his personal information into our machine.
Or yes.
So there's absolutely no way of not getting caught for it in that sense. But the thing is that I think I'll get away with it, and here's why. I reckon that the dude that comes around to clean it up, the maintenance guy, it wasn't like totally, destroyed or anything like that. It wasn't major fucking vandalism. So I reckon he probably just going to notice and go like, oh, fucking some dickhead.
These bloody kids.
I don't think he's going to bother trawling through months of fucking footage to find who it was,
That's right. Yeah.
So I'll probably be okay.
Keep us posted on that one.
Yeah, if I'm going to the slammer or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had an audition for a large New Zealand soap opera.
Oh, good for you. And how was it? I hope it was fucking good because it's useless now, isn't it? Fuck's sake, man, you're amateur.
Which I guess I can say the name for now, since I'm posted on Facebook. But
seeing as you did like a bunch of gay fanboy posts on Facebook about it.
I did one post, and I really don't think you could call it a fanboy post. But I got an audition for Shortland Street, which is New Zealand's most popular soap opera. It's prime time, yep. 5 nights a week in the homes of hundreds of thousands of New Zealanders.
It is all those things. It's also one of the worst television shows made in New Zealand.
Now, you don't be bagging on shorties publicly, you fool. This industry is far too small. Probably somebody will be like, hey, maybe we could get Guy on for something. And then, no, this comes back to haunt you.
It's interesting, actually. I met one of the first ADs that worked on Shortland Street when I was Ubering.
Yeah.
And I basically picked her up after she'd been out drinking, and we just kind of got to talking. She was like, oh, yeah, I AD on Shortland Street. And I was like, oh, Shortland Street. And she was like, oh, yeah. She thought I was going to start bagging on Shortland Street.
Yeah.
But what I was actually going to say, I was like, well, that would be, for an AD, one of the trickiest jobs. For an AD, you'd have to be one of the best because the turnaround is so fast. And, and she's like, that's what people don't understand. We just got to make compromise because we've got no time. We're shooting the most pages per day of any show. And I was like, I understand. So, yeah. But, I don't really hold it in the same reverence as you, to be perfectly honest. So when I heard you got that, I was like, yeah, whatever.
Well, I think you've, absolutely misinterpreted my line of thinking, big time. It really seems like you put very little thought into that, into my admiration for Shortland Street.
I have really put too much thought into it.
Because, okay, do I watch the show? No, I do not. I watched a few episodes to get before my audition to get in the zone, but I don't. I don't keep up with it. Yeah. I don't watch it. It's just not for me. It's just not. The type of entertainment that I enjoy, and that's never going to change.
Very interestingly phrased, sir.
Well, it's
very
never
diplomatically phrased.
It's just never going to be. Even if it was like a super high-end production with exceptional actors, it's still not something I would watch. I don't watch House or any of those types of other hospital dramas, so it's just not something that I would watch. But that's not to say I think it's bad or anything like that. And then I've realized, the high turnover and how hard it is to get all of that right, and so you kind of forgive it for a lot of the shortfalls in the acting or the story or whatever. And then, of course, the reason why I have reverence for it is not because I like it. It's because I really, really want the opportunity that it provides, which is prime time in the homes of many, many New Zealanders who love that shit. I mean, I posted one post about Shortland Street. Just a picture of me standing outside of it saying that I had an audition and I didn't get it, but they'll get the next one kind of thing. And it's got like 200 and something likes on it because everyone gives a shit because they're like, oh, shorties. So it's all business, man. It's just traffic, and it'd be really good for my profile. It'd really raise my profile.
What was that? Liam Hegarty had a great line in the comments on that one, but I just can't remember what it was. But it
Hardy Sifty 150 listener, Liam Hegarty.
It was a slightly modified version of the start of the Shorties theme song.
Oh yeah. Is it you or is it me wasting our broadcasting fee?
Yes, that's it. Good stuff, Liam.
So I'd love to get on that show anyway, but I didn't get it. But it would be awesome to get in there because it was quite a cool role as well. It was a very like dramatic one, and it was not a huge role, so I wouldn't have to be on there like for a long time, which is okay. I just want to get on and have a go, and so yeah, it was a cool role. It would have looked good on my show reel and all that stuff, and I did a good audition, and I left feeling pretty confident. Actually, felt pretty good, dangerously optimistic, but I know now that I did not get it.
Well, let's just talk about that audition a little bit, because in this one, this was a toughie in the sense that the script called for crying.
Yeah. Yeah, it had to end on crying, which is obviously tough, and because fucking that's real acting. Also, the thing is that I'm not an overly emotional person in real life. I don't cry very often, or
except when you write poems to Angie.
Yeah, well, that's when you're meant to cry, isn't it? When you're writing poems to the love of your life.
I'm just being a dick.
It's when you're meant to cry.
I'm being a prick.
It's when I wrote.
I just think it's funny because
I was crying a lot when I wrote that poem.
No, I'm just being an asshole. Yeah, no. Well, look, that's true. I have the same issue. Is that I, in my real life, try and keep my emotions battened down.
Yeah.
Really locked in there.
Well, I'm a New Zealand male.
Spirited away. Never to be revealed to anyone I talk to. Except to laugh I've
got a video of Guy crying on our 30th birthday, our joined 30th birthday party. That. I just stumbled upon it recently somehow.
It was a bloody good night.
And there's footage of you crying.
I did get emotional.
You did.
I got really emotional because like everyone's saying all these nice things, and when you're just living your life, you're like, I have like impacted people positively by being alive. And that got me.
Yeah.
Because
I have worth.
Basically.
Yeah.
And also because I view myself as quite a pain in the ass to other people, quite a bad friend in many respects.
Yeah.
Because I'm always busy. I'm always, working on film stuff. I've never got time to hang out. Never got time for a coffee for Harley to just have a nice chat with. Don't have time. Sorry, bro. Gotta go.
Yeah.
Got work to do. Sorry, mate. Your feelings aren't important. I've got work to do.
My best friend, ladies and gentlemen.
And there's a lot of that with me, and like, hey, I haven't seen you in 3 months. I normally see my friends more than every 3 months. This is not great friend work here you're doing. So to actually hear people go, oh, like, we actually still like you, I was like, oh my god. So that got me. That definitely got me.
Well, I probably won't post that one on the Guy and Harley Facebook page. We'll just leave that one just quietly off the internet mostly.
You don't want to post that one?
It is on the internet. That's someone else.
Someone put it up.
Yeah.
Someone put it up.
Yeah.
But
that's a private moment.
That's a private
Guy crying.
Well, no, you will see me crying in due course and older, I'm sure. But speaking of that, for me, whenever I was crying and older, sometimes it would hit me, sometimes it just wouldn't. Sometimes I'd get to a good spot, sometimes I wouldn't quite get there. Sometimes if I did, I found that once I'd hit that emotional peak, it was easy to stay there and just coast through the takes in that emotional peak.
Yeah.
But getting to that emotional peak was very difficult.
Right.
Like breaking through
the
chains, the stone, surrounding my heart.
Yeah.
That was a difficult. Once I broke free, I was, easy to start blubbing like a baby, but only once that had been penetrated. And so I guess for you, I felt sorry for you in the sense that you're not going to have a bunch of takes to get in there into that zone.
I got 2 takes and a warm-up run-through beforehand. I got 2 warm-up run-throughs beforehand.
Yeah. Before
the casting guy was actually there. And then he breezed into the room. So I was with the casting assistants, I guess, and they ran the lines with me a couple of times. And then he breezed in the room and and then we had a little chat. And then he did the first take, gave me some direction, did a different take, and he changed angle slightly. And then shook my hand. Thank you very much. See you later.
Yeah.
Well, that was it.
But were the tears flowing?
No. But on the first take, I did get some good watery eye going.
Some red eye.
Yeah, I did get some good watery eye going.
Some good pink eye.
And I mean, obviously, I could have pushed it further, but I should have. But I guess I don't know. I was reasonably happy with that. I feel like it could have.
I will say this is a very important thing. People equate good acting to crying.
Yeah.
Which I think is a load of bullshit.
Yeah.
And I think is completely untrue. And I think that, most of the time when you are crying, you're trying not to cry.
Yeah.
You're not just going, oh my God, my life. You're going, I do not want people to see me emotional and crying.
Yeah. Well, that's why good actors make it look like all that conflict's going on.
Yeah. But, this whole idea of like, watching something, oh, well, he didn't cry, so, I've never really seen that actor cry.
Yeah.
Is just a load of baloney.
Yeah. Well, good, because
because you didn't do that. Because you did not do that.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, I didn't get that one. And then I also had another one. I had another audition, which I got... I believe we actually spoke about it. I had an upcoming audition in the last episode, I think. Well, I went to the audition and I got onto the shortlist and I got a callback. And then I went along to the callback with 9 stitches in my ass crack still after my operation.
Mm-hmm.
And
haven't talked about that yet.
Did not get it. What, my operation?
We haven't talked about that. The operation was a complete success.
Well, yeah. Yeah, it was. Everything came up nebs.
So it's kind of interesting because, I had this operation and...
Well, we can't get ahead of ourselves too much, but yeah, no, go.
Well, I had this operation and it took 6 months of recovery.
Yeah.
Where I could basically do fucking nothing and my ass had to be stuffed for that time.
So
Don't take that out of context, people. My ass had to be stuffed for 6 months.
Daily.
Yeah. Daily. Sometimes twice a day.
Yeah.
My ass had to be stuffed.
Yeah.
Right? That was just part of it.
Yeah.
And if anything, they were like, look, this is taking longer to heal with them. Maybe we've got to try something else because this is taking so long to heal because it's so deep that anytime you move, you're basically fucking it up.
Yeah.
And you have to move.
Yeah.
And so anyway, it was a big to-do. Harley breezes on in, gets this new revolutionary procedure. Walks out 2 weeks later, he's fucking back to normal.
Flirts with the nurses, gets high off all the drugs,
has a nice dream,
walks out the door, has a lovely dream. So Guy and I, for people that are just tuning in, Guy and I both have operations on our pilonidal. It's called a pilonidal sinus, and it's a tunnel at the top of your butt crack that needs to be cut open, then healed from the bottom up. So you got to stuff it every day with bandages to make sure it doesn't close over the top and just heals from the bottom up.
Yep.
From the Guy and I both had that operation. This time though, this is my second time around. This time I just went on in. They did a totally different thing.
A revolutionary new procedure,
they told me it was a different. Yeah, it was like a different. They were trying a different thing, and it does have a higher fail rate though. That's the problem of recurrence.
Right.
So it's got a higher chance of recurrence. So I'm not,
you're not out of the woods just
I'm
yet.
not out of the woods exactly. It does have a higher rate of reoccurrence, and if it does reoccur, well then I'm kind of in a way worse place because now I've got this massive scar and this massive lump of scar tissue in my ass crack, as well as the pilonidal sinus is back anyway. So definitely in a worse place. But so far so good, and yeah, I had 9 stitches in there. I didn't know that until the nurse tried to take them out. I thought I only had 7 because it's very difficult to count your own arse stitches. And Guy didn't want to help me.
I did not put my hand up for that.
And so yeah, I got all those taken out. But yeah, it's great. Like I can still feel it. I've got some scar tissue down there, but overall very good healing. So it gets a bit uncomfortable on the motorbike, but it's getting a bit better every day.
Well, even this, like you sitting down, I don't think I could sit for this length of time.
Yeah.
After this amount of recovery.
Yeah.
You just sit there.
Yeah.
Like it's fucking nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bloody kids.
Why? Yeah. It's everything just came up nerves.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, like, so. The next thing I was going to say was that we had we're getting a new flatmate in, right?
Yep.
That's why I moved rooms.
We're
getting a new flatmate in. Now we've settled on this on an American lady. Mm-hmm. She has a cat. She seems very cool, but there is a cat here already named Ted. And if you want to picture Ted,
Ted Bundy.
Picture Ted Bundy.
Ted Bundy, the serial killer. But it is a cat.
Well, look, here's what I want you to picture. Picture an alternate universe where Garfield is combined with Ted Bundy.
Yeah.
And Garfield is not just a fat jerk, he's also a psychopath.
Yes.
That serial killer who kills people and things.
Yeah.
This cat
and takes pleasure in it, relishes it.
Yeah,
relishes in violence.
It's Lauren's cat, our flatmate. Yeah. Ted is Lauren's cat, and I asked Lauren the other day what she thought about this, and she answered very quickly and very sure. I said, "Do you think if you got shrunk down to the size of a G.I. Joe," and I was going to say, "Would Ted eat you?" And she goes, "Would he eat me? Fuck yes." Because he would eat his owner if she was small enough for him to eat. No doubt about it. See, I honestly think that my dog Slade wouldn't have eaten me. I think that he might have killed me through knocking me over and standing on me or doing something dumb.
Dumb retard. He would have just headbutted you and killed you by accident.
He may have stood on me or sat on me or something.
Yeah.
But he wouldn't eat me on purpose.
No.
But this cat would eat Lauren for sure.
Yeah. No, it's a dangerous cat.
So I am a little concerned about this new cat moving in. That essentially the cats just aren't going to get along, and when they don't get along, well, we've got to get someone else because she's like, oh no, my cat's had its fucking paw ripped off.
Oh, my cat's had its eyes ripped out by the other cat. And now my cat's got no eyes. This is a real situation we've got on our hands.
I'm moving out.
And I'm not happy.
I'm
also not very happy about it.
Now, to be fair, we did warn her.
Yeah.
And everybody kind of said, oh, look, we think it'll be all right. So, hopefully it will be. Now, both cats have lived with other cats before. So it's not like, yes. Ted's a lone wolf.
Now, in saying that, yes, the cat did live with another cat. But one of those cats that it lived with had to get on antidepressants because it was so depressed from Ted bullying and attacking it.
I haven't heard that story.
That's a story I've just been told.
Right.
Yeah. So just think about that. Cat had to go on antidepressants to live with this cat because this cat is such a vicious killer.
He is a real jerk. He's a real evil little jerk. But he's real cute. He's like fluffy and fat. He looks like the type of cat that you'd love to pick up, but trust me, you don't want to pick up this fucking cat, okay?
No.
Yes, you'll regret it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so damn. Yeah, so anyway,
new flatmate.
So all the people that applied were actually really good. We got heaps of really good applicants. There was only one definite no from me.
And I think we have told some stories in the past about
shit flatmate.
About some shit flatmate applications.
Yeah.
I swear this was another little story, but who was this definite no?
So this definite no, right? He seemed like a nice guy, and he contacted me through Facebook, and he seemed like a nice guy. But he shows up, right? Okay, he's unemployed. He goes, I go, there's a bond, right? It's this much. And he goes, oh, I don't think my wins will cover that. which is Work and Income New Zealand.
Yep.
He's on a benefit. And look, I've been on the benefit. Guy's been on the benefit.
Yep.
We're not judging people on benefits. I'm just saying that when you're moving into a fucking flat in fucking Kingsland, we need someone that can afford to pay the extortionate fucking rent, and it's like unemployment is a real issue.
Unemployment's a big...
it's a big red flag.
Yeah.
And so he said, but he was honestly a really nice guy, but he was just way too honest. He was like, I don't have, his business is not going very well. Okay. His business is not going very well.
His business is failing. Yeah. He's unemployed.
His van had broken down that day. Now, look, I honestly don't want to kick the guy while he's down. It's horrible. The poor guy's like real down on his luck.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, man, that ain't flatmate material.
No.
So his car's crapping out, his business is crapping out, and he can't afford the bond, and he's unemployed, right? And then he goes, I need to invest in some new headphones. And I was like, oh yeah, why is that? And then he goes, oh, because I really like listening to making. I'm a producer, and I produce loud electronic music with my 8-inch something or other speakers in my room. And then he goes, yeah, that's part of why I had to leave my old place. And I was like, for fuck's sake, mate, stop, don't tell me that.
Yeah.
Do not tell me that.
Because he's blasting his shitty techno music that he was currently producing.
And then at the end, right, so that's the other thing too. So like a couple of days later, he was like officially homeless without a van to sleep in. And I was like, oh mate, I feel sorry for you, but I'm not giving you the fucking flat.
Yeah.
And then at the end, right, he goes, okay, cool, well, I'll see you later. Give us a hug. And then he gave me a hug. Now look, again, and there was another guy there with him who was just like his ride, who'd given him the ride there.
Just some random.
And he was just sitting there like just quietly, and then so he gave me a hug and I hugged him back, but it was like, man, we haven't really reached hug stage. You just came and had a look at the room and you're definitely not getting it. So why are we hugging? But look, again, he was a nice guy. It was not a bad hug. He didn't stink or anything like that. He didn't steal my wallet. So, I got a hug, you can't really fault the guy. He's down on his luck. He's giving out hugs. Good for him. So we had some other ones, though. There was actually another no, but not on my behalf. Lauren vetoed the hot blonde 23-year-old one. Vetoed it. She said she said it was because she didn't like her accent.
What was her accent?
Well, the funny thing was, it was just like Lauren's accent. And to me, she seemed like lovely and smart and mature. She didn't seem 23. But at the end of the day, she wasn't going to get the flat anyway, simply because she's 23, and 23-year-olds have 23-year-old friends. And the next thing you know, you come home from work and you've got Beavis and Butthead sitting on your couch, fucking chugging beers.
It's true. It's true. You bring a 23-year-old into your flat. Even if they're okay, you bring in their stupid fucking mates with them. Real stupid.
Yeah, well, and they're also
23-year-old problems.
They're way more exactly. They've got 23-year-old problems, but also they're way more social then. So they're always hanging out. Like
they're always hanging out, wanting to talk. Fuck that for a laugh.
Don't you guys have something productive to do?
Don't you guys have jobs
instead of cementing your bonds of friendship?
Don't you guys have jobs? Now you also went to see your hero.
Yeah, so I
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
So I got to see Neil deGrasse Tyson thanks to my dad and stepmom who bought me a ticket to meet and greet him.
So not only how much was the just regular ticket?
I think it was around 100 to 150 for a good one, like down on the floor.
Bloody rip-off. But anyway, now it escalated to...
Well, the meet and greet was 350.
Fucking steep. But anyway...
That is a lot. But, like, how often do you get to meet a historic figure like that? Not very often. This is not a common thing, and it holds way more value for me because it's not a case of meeting Kanye West, who's going to be a side note in the sideshow that is entertainment history. You know, this is a true historic figure. This is somebody like Newton.
Only if he invents something.
Well, no, because I think that he's going to be okay. For a start, he's the guy that demoted Pluto, right? That in itself is a historic event.
That's true.
You know,
that's true.
But he's done various other things within his community. Okay, but the thing is what's going to make him this super historic figure is that he's a popularizer of science, and he's done it exceptionally well. You know, he is kind of the superstar of science, and that is a very massive and powerful thing because of all the people he's influencing. There was 5-year-olds at the show. Literally 5 years old that sat there and listened to him the whole time, and they weren't squeaking and squawking and fucking around. They were just down the road from me, and they were fine. And then at the end, they had a Q&A, and they had kids getting up. They were like 5, 6, 10, and they were actually asking like kind of decent questions, way more intelligent than the type of shit I was talking about when I was 10.
Such as, who's your favourite Ninja Turtle, Neil?
Exactly.
Mine's Raphael.
I was always a Leonardo man.
Leonardo's a fucking dweeb, man.
I like. Well, there you go. Isn't that funny?
He's such a straight edge.
Yeah.
Also, if you were to like anyone, you should like Donatello because he's the science guy.
Right.
He invents all the technology and shit.
I didn't like how he had a stick.
His weapon was a stick.
His weapon was a stick, and I was
his weapon was a stick.
I was like, I want a couple of fucking swords.
And you're like, for fuck's sake, I could just fucking pick up a stick from the fucking bushes down the back, and I'm Donatello.
Yeah.
But fucking Leonardo, at least he's got some big ass samurai swords.
Exactly.
Well, I appreciate that as a reason.
Yeah.
But Donatello was the science dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, look, I really just have one question about this.
Okay.
Did your ejaculate hit Neil in the face, or did it sort of just sadly sprinkle on the desk and on his shoes in front of him?
To be fair,
yes,
my ejaculate was well and truly contained within my undies, okay? Because I wouldn't get my penis out, especially if I know I'm at risk of ejaculating. It doesn't, So it dribbled down my leg harmlessly and caked there while I chatted to people.
And no one was the wiser.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, So yeah, he's a big fucking guy, and it's really awesome to meet him. And I didn't really realize how much I would be sort of fanboying and starstruck.
It's also so funny.
I had a massive grin on my face.
That you had your science T-shirt on.
Yeah,
specifically.
Yeah,
the classic. It's like when someone essentially it's like if I went to see John Carpenter and I had a T-shirt, but the T-shirt it didn't say one of his movies. It was just some subtle reference to, one of the things in his films. Yeah. And he goes, oh, I like it.
I like it, kid.
Yeah, the thing. Yeah, I see what you did there. Okay, nice one. And so this is exactly how Harley positioned himself for Neil to give him a compliment.
Yeah. Well, it's true. I did. I very carefully chose what I was going to wear. Now, I wanted to wear my own gravity shirt, the one that says deny, and then it's got the mathematical equation for gravity, but you'll still fall off the roof. That's the one that I wanted to wear because, he would recognize the mathematical equation for gravity. You'd get it straight away. And you might even say, oh, it's a unique T-shirt. I haven't seen that before because it's my personal merchandise, so he wouldn't have seen it, And then he could be like, what's that about? And I go, well, it's one of my poems, actually, Neil. I'll tweet it to you. Keep an eye out for it. But unfortunately it was in the wash, so I had to fall back on my backup plan, right? Because obviously I wanted to sell T-shirts that night somehow. You want to use Neil's greatness to sell T-shirts. So I wore my other science T-shirt, which I also get 7.5% of each sale because I'm an affiliate for the company. So the T-shirt, I really like it. I bought it because I like it. It's a pictorial representation of the information on the Voyager space probe, which is the furthest away man-made object in existence. It's the furthest away man-made object, furthest away from Earth. It's it's not even in our solar system officially anymore. Nice. Kind of thing.
It's quite far away.
Yeah, and it's got on it a bunch of information such as like a map of all the pulsars which are a particular type of star that are in the region around us, and so you can use those pulsars exactly to figure out where Earth is. It's a map.
It's the perfect map for the aliens to navigate towards us and destroy us all.
Yeah,
brilliant thinking, fucking humanity. Fucking brilliant. I bet fucking Neil deGrasse wasn't in charge of what was that.
Look, mate,
it was launched like 40 years ago or something.
Yeah, it was, and it still works. And but the thing is that it's still nowhere near any aliens, and by the time it reaches aliens, our civilization will be it'll be dust. Or
climate change.
Exactly, it will be climate change.
Trump.
Exactly. Or failing that, we will get faster than light, or maybe not fast, we'll never get faster than light, but we'll get some sort of super fast technology that's way faster than Voyager and end up surpassing it in a few seconds anyway, at some point in the future.
Well, to be honest, I don't think Neil's going to hold that esteemed place in history, but it's very hard to say, because we'll both be dead.
Well, I really think that he, as a popularizer of science, people will be like, it depends. Here's the thing. We've got two futures, right? We've got a dystopian future on the left hand, we've got a fucking utopian future on the right hand. And so if we get the dystopian future and we just kind of keep going on this path and things are kind of pretty shitty and, overpopulated and dirty and all of that stuff, nobody's going to remember Neil, because he I guess it didn't work. But if we go towards this utopian path, people are going to look back and say, how did this happen? How did we go from the industrial era to the solar era and, to all of these types of things? And
they'll say...
well, this guy was he was one of the leaders in that movement of popularizing science.
And they'll say, an inconvenient truth. And an inconvenient truth part 2.
Yeah. Well, those two.
Who was the guy that...
Al Gore.
Al Gore. They'll say Al Gore. They won't say Neil deGrasse Tyson.
No, that's not the same. He's highlighting climate change, not popularizing science.
Honestly, it's hard to say. I think that it is possible that he could be this figure in history that doesn't go away. But it is possible that he is the science entertainer in the same way that we see as some entertainer, and then he will be gone because of that. But whereas, I guess he did do that thing with Pluto, though.
He did demote a planet.
He did a little thing called demoting a planet.
There are other things as well, though, like to do with being African American as well. Like he was saying about how he doesn't do interviews when they want the perspective of a black scientist. If he's getting the interview because he's black, he says no. He gets interviews because he's the best in his field, kind of thing. And so that anyway, so he also overcame a bunch of racial things and said a whole bunch of like new kind of reached positions that other people hadn't reached before him, kind of thing as well, which is also historic.
Quick, so we can all save $350.
Yeah.
Quick highlights. Anything interesting that he really said right off the top of your head? Go.
No, I don't know, mate. Jeez.
Okay, failed that test. Second test. What did he say to you personally when your ejaculate sprinkled on his shoes?
So I saw him there, and and first thing he goes, he points to my t-shirt, and he goes, "Oh, Voyager," and I go, "Yeah, it sure is." You like it? I squeaked at him, and he didn't actually respond to that.
He did not actually say that he liked it.
He did not actually say.
Really confirm.
This is just for the Hardy Hundy on my Facebook and the Sifty 150.
He wasn't feeling it.
When I put it on Facebook, I said that Neil deGrasse Tyson said the t-shirt was cool. Now, he didn't say those words specifically. Okay, he noted that it was Voyager. He seemed positive. It was a positive situation,
but did not affirm.
He did not utter the words "cool" at any point. But like you could tell, he thought it was cool, and so he goes, "Oh, Voyager," and I was like, "Yep." And then and then I think I just took the photo. I put my arm around his back, his slightly flabby old man back, which I could feel through his suit.
Yeah,
cool. and then we took a photo, and I like shook his hand and squeaked something else at him.
Well, what else did you squeak?
No, I don't. Maybe something along the lines of, "Oh, you're a legend."
Oh Oh boy.
You know, and then
You're a legend. And then by this point, he was getting a little bit scared. He's getting a little bit worried. He sees that he couldn't have a proper discourse with you in your current state.
No, and so
you were moved along.
I stooped away in a stupor, is what I did, in a daze after meeting one of my heroes, but then I got to meet him a second time. You know, we got around to it for signing things. You know, and it was like he would only sign one thing at a time. Now, look, I had a book for Sam Hurley, who is he does a podcast. Which I was on just recently, that is called, it's a very good podcast about New Zealand filmmaking and films and movies, and they review movie reviews and noobs. I'm sorry, it'll come to me later. I'll share it anyway on the Facebook page, facebook.com/guy, and noobs reviews and 20 Qs. They asked 20 questions and nerd versus noob. That's what it's called. Nerd versus noob. Okay, so
He did it.
I did it.
Did it, everyone.
So look,
remember nothing of deGrasse's 2-hour conversation.
I remember nerd versus noob.
He's done it.
So nerd versus noob. Anyway, Sam Hurley. He's a podcaster. I went on their podcast a little while ago. I'll share it again on the Guy and Harley Facebook page, facebook.com/Guy and Harley, and you can tune in. We talk about I survived a zombie holocaust and kind of talk about reviewing it and stuff. And so anyway, he had a book that he wanted to get signed, and I said, "Yeah, mate, I'll get him to sign it for you," because I had pictured that it was like just me and Neil and a cigar, and you know, maybe a couple of other people hanging around, but it was like 150 people there. It was not really
how
a
much
VIP.
Bank this guy is making, man.
Yeah.
That's obscene.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I bought a book while I was there as well.
Well,
so all the merchandising.
What's 100 times 150?
Well, I mean,
can we work this out?
Well, you can. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just trying to work this out right now.
The listeners are like, these guys are fucking idiots. It's very clearly 15,000.
15 grand just off this one. Did he do 2 shows?
So why are we saying 150?
Because about $150 of that is for the meet and greet, right?
Oh, yeah, I guess so. Yeah, it was probably more like 200. Yeah.
So it's 20 grand.
Yeah, so it was about 20 grand for that meet and greet.
20 grand.
Yeah.
For how long would you say the meet and greet process took?
Oh, it was about half an hour or 40 minutes. He was in the room.
This guy's on 20 grand an hour.
Well, he'd be on more than that.
Well, that's not counting, obviously.
Because all the ticket, it was pretty much full. It's Auckland's biggest arena, Spark Arena, and it was pretty much
Spark
full.
Arena?
Yeah, they changed it to Spark Arena now. It used to be Victor Arena, now it's officially Spark Arena.
Is that the one down in town?
Yeah, the big one.
So how many seats does that fill?
I don't know, but it was full, and apparently they sold out the Christchurch one as well.
Jesus.
So that's what I'm saying, mate. He's popularizing science. He's blowing up.
Well, Michael Jackson was
He's
the
huge. Michael Jackson, okay.
In terms of filling out arenas.
Right, well, there's lots of people that fill out arenas, mate. Most of them aren't fucking astrophysicists.
You too fill out arenas.
These are entertainers, not astrophysicists.
That's true. Look,
okay?
Look, that is impressive for any scientist to get any kind of interest in anything.
Especially because it's just one man on stage for most of it.
Talking shit, you don't even remember what he said. Okay, so 20 grand there.
But there's all the merchandising and everything. He's obviously loaded. He probably doesn't need to keep working.
Jesus Christ, you would have to.
Well, you also got to remember that he has a position at like a fancy university as well.
Yeah,
he is a professor of whatever he does. I don't know what the fuck he does.
Astrophysics?
Well, presumably, but like I don't know what he actually does at if he's a professor or what he actually does. But he does something at a uni somewhere.
Do you think he's now one of those guys that's so successful that he never really does any work himself, but he just gets a super talented scientist group around him that he also then kind of takes credit for team?
Yeah, maybe. You know, maybe.
So anyway, you're getting some signatures.
Signatures. I had 2 books with me because I bought one for myself and I had Sam's one as well. And I was like, sweet as, no, he's not going to give a shit. Nearly D's not going to give a shit. And then there was all these, it was like one signature per person. And I was like, fuck, what am I going to do? Because I had Sam had dropped his book off. I told him, yes, I'd do it. They specifically brought it to me, but I want to get my book signed.
Yeah.
What the fuck am I going to do? So I was like, all right, well, it's my ticket. sorry, Sam. So I took the 2 books up and I said, and I was like, I wanted to say to him, look, Neil, can you? This book's for my friend. I know you can only sign one thing, but this one's for my friend. Can you just like touch it so that I can tell him, like, look, it's still had some of your glory bestowed upon it.
Oh boy.
That's kind of what I wanted to say. Right?
Yeah,
that's the good version.
Oh no.
But instead, I go, hey, I know you can only sign one book at a time, but and I was like, can you just touch this one and bestow some of your greatness on it?
Oh my god!
I missed out all the bit about my friend, and he just looked at me like I was an idiot.
Like you,
he was just like he sort of raised his eyebrows, like.
Oh,
like,
man,
what
what
is
guy.
this superstitious shit?
This guy,
weirdo. and then so, but he looked at me, but he just reached over, grabbed it, and then signed it for me.
You didn't make a great impression on Neil.
I probably didn't.
You really didn't make a great impression on your hero.
No. Well, I absolutely didn't. But how do you? I had 15 seconds. I had 15 seconds twice.
It's also funny that, like, you go meet and greet. That's 15 seconds, thanks.
Basically.
I paid $200 for this.
Yeah.
And also this whole idea, I'm on $20,000 an hour, but I don't sign 2 things.
Yeah.
Now, I get that. It's to keep it within the hour. Because if he was signing 2 things, it might take him an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And then he wouldn't be making his $20,000 an hour.
Yeah. Well, I honestly reckon it's more than that he'd be getting.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm literally just saying for that meet and greet moment.
Right, yeah.
But not obviously, it would, I guess you're looking at a couple $100,000. Probably. I'm kind of trying to, I'm lowballing it for that Vector Arena.
Who knows? I don't know.
Or maybe you're talking about $500,000.
No.
It's a lot of money for a scientist.
Well, especially because his show doesn't require much. He doesn't need to have, drummers and 5 band members and, like
flying
lighting and sound and stunts. It's just him on a stage. There's a smoke machine. There was a smoke machine and him on a stage, more or less. And that was it. It's just a one-man show. Like, he probably, his crew traveling with him probably isn't even that huge.
Well, the whole thing
He'll have
reminds
publicists
me
and all that shit.
of the time that I didn't go see Terry Pratchett.
Yeah.
Because I would have been in the same type of awe of Terry Pratchett that you were. Or maybe I wouldn't have been at the time, but I certainly would have been now.
Yeah.
That you were of Neil. Yeah. So funny that you made such a shitty impression.
Yeah.
But, these things happen when you meet your heroes because that's the little kid in you, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
And,
pretty good way of putting it.
It's important to kind of keep that part of you. So you can't, I can't begrudge you acting like a damn fool in front of Neil.
Well, it was a good night. I had a good fun. And I got recognised by somebody.
Cool.
They recognised me from Facebook.
Oh.
But that still counts because they knew I was a filmmaker. They knew all that stuff. And they never met me in real life. But they recognised me from Facebook, knowing that I'm a filmmaker and all that. And we got to talking. Yeah. So that was another positive to the evening. I was like, all right, it's all coming up nebs. Now, speaking of meeting your heroes, I went to Dominic Hoey's...
Oh, boy. Your other hero that you've made a bad impression on to the point that he dislikes you.
Thinks I'm a fucking weirdo.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, so I went to Dominic Hoey's book reading because he had a publicity stunt where he's just released a book called Iceland. So it's called Iceland, and his name is Dominic Hoey. So you can go out. It's out now. You can go check it out. I pre-ordered it, of course.
Have you read it?
I haven't read it yet. No.
Did you read? Have you read the Neil deGrasse Tyson book that you made him sign?
No, I haven't. So I haven't read any of his work. I mean, I read a few chapters of his of one of his books the other day, of Sam's book. But that's it. That's all I've ever read. But I'm looking forward to it. But I've just got a bit of a list to get through.
Yeah, man.
That's the problem. But I am reading. I'm getting there. Now, look, so I went to Dominic Hoey's book reading, and so what he was is he read the entire story over like fucking 8 hours or however long.
Oh, boy.
And, well, it was kind of cool, though. It was like right on K Road, like a sort of in this little shop, and they had just free beers and no bar or anything like that. It felt like a sort of a house party sort of situation, but not a party. No one was partying. Everyone was just sitting down and listening to him read, but it was actually kind of good. It was weird and interesting and I don't know, fun enough. But anyway, so I went along and I was like, I brought my book with me to get signed by him. Get him to sign my book, right? Makes sense. Now, look, I got to be honest. I got him to sign it. I'm a little bit disappointed with the message.
Oh,
the message. He said, "Dear Dave, thanks for all the support, asshole." No, that's not what he said. He said, "Dear Harley."
That's a classic Eminem reference.
That is. He said, "Dear Harley, thanks for all the support. Tourette's." No personalised message, no effort, not even signed under his real name. The name he wrote the book under, Dominic Hoey. It's Tourette's. That's his rap moniker. It's got nothing to do with the book. So yeah, I was a little bit disappointed with that.
Yeah. That's a message of a guy that don't want you coming around no more.
Yeah. Look, it's certainly possible that he thinks I'm a weird fan, and he's been rocking mics for a long time, so I'm sure he's got, he's had his fair share of them and stuff. But what do you do? I mean, here's the thing. I'm not as weird as you might actually think. I'm far more clinical than you actually would think, because you see. I'm like a creative, left-leaning filmmaking poet type, and he does all of that stuff. The difference is that he's got street cred, and I don't. And I want his fans to be my fans. So it's like, okay, I'm a clinical guy. How do I make this happen? And it's like, well, I've got to be friends with him, don't I? Obviously, I've got to befriend the fucking guy. And it's like, okay, I've got to start riding his wave. Maybe I open a show for him one day if I'm lucky. But it's like, how do I become friends with him? Well, how do you become friends with anybody that doesn't travel in your immediate circles?
Kiss their fucking ass.
You attend events they'll be at. You buy their book. You hit like on everything they post on Facebook. You attend their courses, what else?
Do their fucking course.
I helped them out. I got him on a news story on stuff.co.nz one time. So I'm trying to get to that stage where he's like, yo, H-bomb, come along to this house party.
You've definitely DJ Fades'd him.
Well, I don't know what that means. DJ Fades is a fucking legend.
DJ Fades is a legend, but he can fades around a bit too often.
Well,
and he kind of can pop up when you don't want him to.
No, it's never happened to me. I love DJ Fades. I'm living on the edge.
Gotta slow my roll. Anything and everything goes.
If you guys haven't heard of DJ Fades and his song Living on the Edge, you got to find that on YouTube. DJ Fades is spelt with a Z, F-A-D-E-Z. DJ Fades. We know him from Dunedin, and I'm probably his biggest fan. I love his pop songs. But yeah, so anyway, it was all in all, it was a bit of a letdown. I wasn't too happy with that message. I mean, he did say Harley. At least he had my name in it. Knew who I was. But, there was no he knows I'm creative. There was no keep creating, dude. Fight the system. You can do it, man.
Yeah,
there was none of that.
He's really trying to keep you at a distance. That's what I sense from every interaction you've ever had with him. Is that he's trying to keep you at a very lengthy distance?
Yeah, well, look, you might be right. You might be right. I might have scared him or something.
Yeah,
I'm just too enthusiastic. I'm just too keen.
Yeah,
but the thing is that I do like his work. It's not.
You look up to him. You want to be him.
He's doing stuff that I want to do. And he's doing it well, and he's super active. He's like constantly doing things like this. This book reading.
It's what is he fucking unemployed or what?
Well, he's gone pro. He's making a living doing the shit that he loves, and that's commendable, right? And that's what I want to do. Yeah, so bit of a disappointment anyway. But speaking of crap personalised notes, I would just like to talk about your last two personalised notes on the DVDs, on the I Survived the Zombie Holocaust DVDs, because we sign them and we send them away. You can get one if you want. Facebook.com/ISAZH. That's I Survived the Zombie Holocaust, and there's a link there to buy a personalised signed DVD. But I'm going to share it on the Guy and Harley podcast Facebook page, which is a much better place to find it. Facebook.com/Guy and Harley, and just I'm going to share it there, and it's a personalized signed DVD, and we ship worldwide. Now I'd like to talk about Guy's last two personalized signed DVDs. So there's first one where evidently he was channeling the Queen of England. He goes, "Dear Tristan, thank you for your kind support." That's it. It's like, firstly, who speaks like that? And secondly, that's such a shit personalised message. Thank you for your kind support.
Tristan might be listening.
Yeah.
I tried my best. What's the next one?
Okay, so the next one was Tony Bove, who might also be listening. And Guy writes on this guy's DVD. This guy also bought like a poster as well. So he's a big client, you know. And I had to post it all the way across the world for him, right? And Guy writes on his DVD, "Dear Tony, thanks so much. Long life zombies."
I was meant to say long live zombies.
Yeah, well, you didn't. You said long life zombies.
Oh, well, I can pinpoint the exact issue here. Is that when I'm writing these, it's when I've just woken up and I'm not, my thoughts are not collected. I'm very sleepy and tired, and I'm doing it because I know Harley's going to be up. So I'm probably just getting up to take a piss.
Yeah.
Before going back to bed.
Yeah, and then you're like...
And I'm like...
Harley's been going to harass me.
Yeah, Harley's going to harass me, so I better write something. But my brain is foggy, and I'm just trying to write long live. I write long life. I'm speaking like the Queen of England. The mind is a jumble, you know, when you're sleepy and groggy. So I apologize to Tony. I apologize to Tristan. I'm very sorry, guys, if you feel underwhelmed by those messages. But, you know, this is really me. The signature's there. Just, I promise to do better.
Just lift your game. So if you guys would like one of the guys' craply signed personalized DVDs,
guys going to come up with some. The problem is I've written probably 30 or 40.
Well, way more. I mean, I've been selling them, you know, like slowly. I mean, each box has got like 50 in them. You know.
Okay, so maybe close to 100.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, absolutely. Because we sold 10 just at Record Store Day.
Yeah, so I've written 100 of these.
Yeah.
You're singling out 2 duds.
Well,
98 hits, man. There'll be 98 hits in there. But, you know, also once you've done that many, you're kind of like, fuck, I'm running out of shit to say here. You know, my creative
Well, you can say the same thing again and again.
You can, but if anyone ever compares them, they feel shortchanged, and I don't want to do that. So I'd rather speak like the Queen of England and misspell the life.
Well, you can, live. Yeah, I feel like the chances are pretty slim. But look, I've got a new segment.
Okay.
This one's to counter your segment, the Uber Files. Okay, this one's called 1 Star, Motherfucker. Okay, so I've got a few. I'll better brush through these. Okay, so first one was a small talk. This was Uber Eats. A small talk fail. He goes. He walks up to the door with my fucking food, and he goes, "I know you're not really Harley, but here's your food." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And he goes, "Your name's not Harley." And I was like, "Yeah, it is." And he was like, "Oh, all right. Good night." And I was like, "Oh, all right. 1 star for you, motherfucker."
Did you 1 star him for that?
Yeah, 1 star him. Fuck him. Also,
Jesus Christ, you're ruining careers left and right here.
Also, he had his helmet on. He walked back into the back of the car. He had a giant backpack. He was banging into stuff. Just a real walking nightmare.
What is wrong?
Just a real walking nightmare.
Helmet's on for safety.
Not when you're walking into the bloody... Normally their shop would just with a little brown bag and give it to you.
Yeah.
But he had like his full kit, his big backpack, his big square backpack on, and you know.
What was he going to do? Take it off?
Yes, that's what everyone else does. They take it off at the bike and then just walk up with the brown paper bag.
You're saving time. That is dumb though.
Okay.
Because it's too confusing a joke to work out well.
What? Oh yeah, the Harley thing. Yeah.
Because it's like the first thing when someone says that, you're not going to understand this. The Uber Eats guy is having a joke.
Yeah.
You're going to be like,
"What? No, my name's Harley.
My name is Harley.
Yeah,
you've got the right person, mate.
Yeah, that's my food.
Give me the motherfucker.
Stop talking to me. Give me my food.
Yeah." I'm hangry. That's why you gave him 1 star, because you're fucking hangry and you just really came down hard on him. Who's next?
Next Uber Eats. These were spread out, of course. Okay, so this was the worst one. He arrived outside and tooted his horn, right?
Big mistake.
Tooted his fucking horn, right? And then he called me, and I noticed the call, and I was like, "What the fuck?" Because I heard the toot, but I was like, "Well, that's obviously not for me," because my Uber Eats
be
guy
so rude as to toot randomly outside my house.
Exactly. You know, I was like, "What the fuck?" And then so, you know, I then see the phone calling. I'm like, "Well, he must be fucking outside or something. What the fuck is this guy up to?" Right? So I didn't answer the call, of course, but I went outside to see what he's up to. Right? Now I was wearing my dressing gown, and it was a cold, wet New Zealand winter's night, and then he's sitting in the car, and he's sitting in the car in the driveway looking at me like saying that I need to come over to him to the car in my fucking slippers.
Oh, this guy is a 1-star, all right.
In my fucking slippers.
This is a 1-star walking right here.
And I'm like, what the hell? And so I stand there, I'm like, gesture him over to me, right? And he gets out of the car with the food, and he still doesn't walk up to the door and give it to me. He sort of walks to the end of the veranda and kind of and as if I'm supposed to come out to him now. It's like, okay, well, come on, man, what the hell's going on? Just deliver the food to the door, bro.
Yeah.
And then so we sort of meet in the middle.
You have a standoff?
Kind of.
You had a Mexican standoff over your Uber Eats and whether who was going to walk to who?
I took like 2 steps forward. That's all I've given him. That's all I was giving him. I was like, what the hell? And I was like, are you new, man? And to which he, I was like, are you new or something? To which he mumbled something, and I replied, 1 star for you, motherfucker.
Not to his face, did you?
No.
Okay. But you did give him 1 star.
Okay, now this one was an Uber driver.
But look, part of the thing of Uber Eats is delivery to your door.
Oh, absolutely.
Not delivery to parked outside your house.
Well, on a winter's night.
Yeah, and giving you a call
in
and
my PJs.
Not wanting to get out of... I mean, he was clearly had the same thought you did.
He was like, it's cold, I don't want to get out the car.
Yeah.
And it's like, fuck, mate, what are you up to? Get out of the fucking car. It was weird. It was like, and I was like, really, he must be new, because that shit ain't going to fly.
Not long term.
Yeah, so anyway, the next one was an Uber driver, and I opened the door, and he goes, hello, Harley Davidson?
That's good.
To which I replied, 1 star for you, motherfucker.
But at least, there was some attempt of levity there, a little moment of humour between two people. Of course, he made the wrong choice. It's like if someone come up to the door and been like, Guy Smiley, or the old classic, it's redundant now, but for long-term Shortland Street watchers, Guy Warner or Guy Sebastian. That's the new one. Guy Sebastian is the new one. No, not Guy Sebastian. He wouldn't be getting Uber Eats. He's too rich. Anyway.
Yes. So, next guy showed up late, arrived early.
What?
Arrived talking on his phone, sorry. So the next guy shows up late, arrived talking on his phone, 1 star for you, motherfucker.
You've had a real bad run of Uber Eats guys.
No, well, these were Uber drivers now. These two were Uber drivers, these last two. And then I completely forgot about this, but on the way back from my operation, when I was high as fuck, when I came back from my Butt Chronicles operation, the Uber driver called his ex-girlfriend to ask her out for dinner, and she didn't seem keen. And also he laughed when I told him I had an operation on my ass, so 1 star for you, motherfucker.
The weird thing about some of these is I don't get it. I don't get if this is this is what, Uber's over a 2-month period?
Yeah.
That's a lot of quite average to bad experiences.
Yeah.
I'm only defending, the first... I'm saying you shouldn't have 1-starred the first guy, and the Harley Davidson is a bit rough to, essentially end his Uber career over that joke. But, some people... But
these motherfuckers need to be held accountable.
I'm not really defending any of this, because all of this is pretty average stuff and pretty common sense that you should know better. But it also makes me wonder, is how come I'm not 5-star motherfucker?
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I'm not doing any of this dumb shit.
Yeah.
And yet I'm still, 4.81ing and getting fucking... People are just shitty. I mean, Harley is a perfect representation of people being just shitty. I mean, right there. Literally, that segment is called 1-star motherfucker. So he is the perfect example of this shitty self-entitlement, these fucking manservants aren't doing things the way I want them to. I'm fucking pissed off about it. I'm going to fucking shit on them for it.
I'm going to ruin their lives.
I'm going to ruin their fucking lives because I had to walk 3 meters to get the food that I fucking got delivered straight to me. But anyway, good stuff.
Yeah, well, look, I don't know if I'm actually... I'll be honest, I really just tend to just not rate people when they're bad. I give 5 stars if they're good, and I give no rating if they're bad, usually.
Yeah.
So I do a lot of not rating.
Well, I'd like to now open up a episode of the troll hole.
Oh, okay.
You didn't join me on that.
Sorry, I didn't know you were going to do it.
Well, I was really stretching it out.
Right, well, you said, I thought you were going to debut a new segment that was something to do with what you've got on screen.
This is
got it.
Yeah. So anyway, shall we try it again?
A quick one, go.
Yeah. The troll hole. There we go. All right, so now this is on the New Zealand Professional Wrestling Facebook page. And there is a journalist by the name of Rusty Blade. Now, this gentleman is kind of like the guy that writes up about all the New Zealand wrestling that's going on.
Mm-hmm, because Guy is a professional wrestler with the Independent Pro Wrestlers Network or something.
Impact
Pro Wrestling.
Pro Wrestling.
Yeah, IPW.
Yeah.
New Zealand Professional Wrestling. Guy's a big shot.
And so basically what he does is he kind of breaks down the cards of upcoming shows, and he also reviews those shows and talks about certain people or characters, all in a sort of, kayfabe way, kayfabe being pretending that it's real,
Yeah.
So this is what he wrote about my now past match, but the match that I just had on Sunday, which was upcoming last time we talked about it. Rusty Blade reports the Impact Pro Wrestling New Zealand singing sensation Elias, the jukebox hero, will undoubtedly add another greatest hit to his collection when he takes on Alex Savage at IPW Bangers and Smash. The poor man's Wolverine has no claws and stands no chance against the Team Shore Enforcer. They say that the perfect pop song is 3 minutes long, and that's about how long this match is going to last.
Ooh.
So there you go. That was, unfortunately, he was right on the fucking money.
You are a poor man's Wolverine.
Well, I'm not exactly quite filling out the figure of Wolverine at this very second.
Well, a very poor man's Wolverine. A homeless man's Wolverine. That's what you are.
That's a good bird, actually. Poor man's Wolverine. More like homeless.
Yeah, write it down, mate.
But yeah, so I was trolled by Rusty Blade, so I appreciate that. Well, I was, and Alex Savage was. And just to be clear, I am not Alex Savage. Alex Savage is a personal friend of mine. If you wanted to communicate with him, you could speak to me. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of like Peter Parker taking photos of Spider-Man. And
but isn't Peter Parker Spider-Man?
No, he takes the photos.
But Peter Parker
taking the photos. He's just taking the photos. Harley, just drop it. Close personal friend.
Oh, okay, sorry.
But anyway, I did have my match and it was a lot of fun. And hope to be having a few more of those in the future.
Cool. Well, look, I reckon we should end on an old classic segment. An old classic segment that you're going to like, Guy.
Mm-hmm.
It's time we had Harley's Tweeter section.
Okay.
No, I'm doing.
Okay.
I'm just going to play the clip. This is a clip.
Play the old clip.
We just always use the same clip.
Yep.
Same clip. We just play it every time. It's just drag it in timeline. Tweet up. That's the open title for that. Now look, this one is the thing about my Tweeter section is that it's like the opposite of the troll hole. It's nice tweets.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I got a couple of nice tweets here. This is at Harley Neville. I loved your zombie film. This is from Marcus J. Hopkins at Harley Neville. I loved your zombie film. Quite a few fantastic homages to Night and Day of the Dead. Fantastic film. # congratulations.
Thanks, Marcus.
Yeah, and then
appreciate that.
He didn't have enough. Sorry, Dan, that was the second one. Okay, so his first one was, at Harley Neville, just sitting down to watch I Survived a Zombie Holocaust. So far, you're my favourite character, even with hypertrichosis. Do you know what that is?
Nope.
No, neither.
Why didn't you look it up?
Well, why didn't you just know what it was? So just sitting down to watch I Survived a Zombie Holocaust. So far, you're my favourite character, even with hypertrichosis, which
I think is a guy who has overly high balls when he speaks.
Oh, yeah, okay, all right. And then when he finished watching the film, he said he loved it. So that's pretty awesome, right?
Yep.
And Harley's nice Twitter section.
This one is from Larry Wright. How to make a living as an independent filmmaker. By me, a blogger with a podcast.
Yeah.
So that was kind of good.
Yeah.
This one's from Ashley J. Cooper. Spider-Man does whatever a spider can, uses violence to stop a theft. So much for the tolerant left.
Okay.
This one's from Rob Delaney.
Who said Spider-Man was left-wing?
That's just a dumb joke. This one's from Rob Delaney. I say I won't fuck a robot, but then I remember I made fun of iPads for the first couple of years, and now I have two. You see where I'm going with this?
I would fuck a robot.
Well, you can't rule these things out.
I would absolutely fuck a robot. Give me a robot.
Just making some demands. This is from Sarah Silverman.
I honestly, I can't wait.
Honestly, give me a fucking robot. I'm really lonely, and I can do with a bone. Just let me, please, someone let me fuck a robot.
Well, it has been 6 months. But yeah, no, look, when those robots come out, they are kind of out, but I wouldn't spend 20 grand on them or whatever they fucking cost. But one day when that technology comes together, I'll definitely, try one of those out.
Mm. This is from Stephen King. The news is real. The president is fake.
Oh,
boom. You got any more, or was that just
no?
that one?
That was it. Just my two. Just that one guy. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's close that up, eh?
Yeah, let's finish that up because I always actually hated the Twitter section.
Yeah.
So yes. Anyway, thank you all for listening. We're going to wrap it up. But you can help us by going along to the Facebook page, facebook.com/GuyandHarley. You can see all the things we've posted there. You can also buy our personalised signed DVD there. That'll really help us. I'll talk about it next week, but I've been making inroads with my plans on going pro. But for now, I'm just concentrating on Operation Flying Sparrow. But next week I'll talk about going pro and all that stuff, and the progress I've been making. But if you want to help, it's go along, buy our merchandise, buy the t-shirts and use the Patreon and all that stuff. So go to facebook.com/GuyandHarley and you can help us out on all of those fronts.
I'll finish off with 2 tweets here. This is from Sam. Nothing will ever quite match the thrill of watching a movie and then going online to find out what some random losers thought of it. Speaking of which, I watched a new Spider-Man movie. It's pretty good. Worth a watch. I'd go see that.
No, it wasn't.
No, it was good stuff, man. I mean, look, you won't enjoy it because you have no love in your heart. But if you did, you'd find this pretty enjoyable. And this is the final one. RT, as in retweet, if you see your kink. Choking. Spanking. Single-player healthcare. BDSM. Swinging. Smashing capitalism. Exhibitionism. Existential dread. Just going to let that sink in.
Good one.
Just going to let that sink in.
Okay, well, on that note, good night.
See you later.
You've been listening to the Guy and Harley podcast, proudly brought to you by Pigville Productions.
Laugh it up, fuzzball.